Hey everybody, this is Dr. J, Arjun, Professor Spike and Kamal, streaming live from Westchester, New York, Long Island, New York, and Oakland, California.
Yes.
Yes. So the market is a yo-yo market. When we were on Tuesday, Kamal and I were talking about that. It was a really strong up day. And we noted that don't get too excited because one day up, one day down, next day up, next day down. We can't get like 2 days in a row of bull or bear markets.
Nope.
It's really great for the swing trader or the day trader.
Yep.
So
Volatility.
yeah, and Arjun has been nifty and making a little bit money on buying puts and covering them pretty quickly.
Yeah, just to mess around. Just because I don't feel like being long much right now. I want to wait for the dust to settle.
Arjun made some money on shorting Roblox through puts, and I just bought Roblox this morning, at $48 for
Yeah.
myself. I bought a couple of shares for my grandchildren, nothing much, but I decided I'm just a kid at heart too, so I'm going to buy a little
Yeah.
Roblox.
I might join you soon. Actually, I shorted it.
Just yesterday, it was a $31 billion company. Today, it's a $28 billion company.
Yeah.
It sheds billions overnight. Roblox.
Yeah, I'm a long-term believer, though. I'll probably scale into it, but I think it has a little more down to go.
What happens to all these billions that disappear?
Funny money, you know.
Yeah, it was never there to begin with.
Ah,
Funny
crazy.
money.
You wonder
It's a good way to put it.
where the billions evaporate into.
Yeah.
Really crazy. All
But,
right, so I don't want to waste.
They're not in my pocket. I'll tell you that much.
I don't want to waste too much time.
They're out of my pocket.
We couldn't look at charts the last time because I had a new computer, which I still do, and it wouldn't let me share screen. Hopefully, I'm in Westchester today and on an Apple computer, and hopefully it will let me share screen. I haven't checked it yet, but I'm pretty sure it will. So we can chart whatever you guys want. Why don't we go around the room like in a classroom? Each give me one stock to look at or one index or whatever. We'll do it that way today.
I'll
And
give you.
also if with your request, give me whether you're long or short and why.
I'll give you one of my only longs these days, the
Okay.
ALBO, because it's held up very well in a very topsy-turvy market. So we can revisit Albo, and I am long.
Okay, so I'm going to write down Albo. What else? Professor Spike, what would you like, Charlie?
I need to look
why?
for
Viacom, the symbol VIAC.
Yes.
Are you long or short or trying to enter?
I am long it, but I've taken a hit because they changed the name to
Did
Paramount.
they have bad earnings recently?
I'm not precisely sure why. Things are, they announced that they're going to actually sort of consolidate their view to one name, Paramount. Not exactly sure what the financials were most recently.
Paramount Plus is doing very well, right?
Right. That was the whole point. They had very good subscriptions, and nonetheless, so it took a really big tanking this week.
Wow. Okay, I wrote that down by Kamal.
I'd like to go over
Shopify.
Nice.
Yeah, Shopify.
Do you like them, or what's your feeling?
I have a few shares there.
All right, so you're basically long Shopify.
Yes.
That's really taken an unbelievable hit recently.
Yes.
So I'm also looking to enter that when the time is right.
Yeah, I think people see it.
Request from Heath
see it as a coming out because it was a pandemic play, but maybe that's really not true, and it'll be just fine going forward.
I mean, I love their financials are fantastic. I think it's just everything's taking it on the chin these days.
I don't know anybody who shops at Shopify.
I mean, nobody shops at Shopify.
You just click on T-shirts and you buy them from Shopify. Is that the idea?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a point of sale on the internet type of thing.
Yeah. All right. So who's with us today? Heath is with us. I want to say hi to Heath. Out of the AVXL near the high. That's what you got to do. You got to sell these things at the, when you got the profits. Looking at swinging back in, would you mind suggesting potential support level for strike limit bid to buy? I will look at the chart of AVXL. Let me write that one down. AVXL. All right, so far, Elbow, VIAC, Shopify, Anavex.
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
And if we have time, I always have strong opinions on macro, so we can do SPY or VIX or whatever you want.
Okay, Linus is with us this morning. Good morning, Linus. Come on, things aren't that desperate.
Please save us. Come on, save us from what?
Yeah, come on. The market isn't going to zero.
SPY to zero.
You know what we should do? We should include now a daily prayers for a little prayer for world peace. How's that? And that'll save the market.
Some world peace and some Putin chill pills.
Putin chill pills. I told Kamal in a text that I thought we should appoint Trump and a special negotiator.
Yeah.
With Putin, send them over there, and maybe they could strike a deal. What do you want? I can picture the conversation. What do you want, Putin? 2 golf courses and a hotel? Will that be the trick?
I mean, the funny part is I think you're right. I think Trump and Putin are...
They understand each other. They understand each other.
Yeah, they were separated at birth.
No.
They're brothers from another mother.
Very, very different in caliber.
Yeah, but they have similar conviction.
All right, Heath, I'm glad you appreciate us. We will do Annabelle. Okay, so let's get to the share screen. I also want to do Roblox again, being that I bought some this morning.
Yeah, why not?
Yesterday, I bought ETHE, which was not good timing. And I bought, what else did I buy yesterday? I don't know. I've been posting it in tweets, what I'm buying every day. I forgot to post the Roblox one. That's the trouble. I'm not disciplined. Sometimes I post my buys, my sells. I haven't been selling anything, so nothing to post there. Okay, so let's look at.
Did we lose Spike, Dr. Spike?
We lost him.
I think
He'll come back.
Yeah, he has some internet thing, I think, that pops up.
I don't see him now. Right. All right, so let's do finance.yahoo.com. Yahoo.com. I'm going to probably have to set it up to be a candlestick graph. I think all my graphs now are just line graphs.
Yeah.
So I'll have to fix that. Albo first?
Yeah, sure. I like the chart. It's getting better.
Albo is one that I lost a lot of money on. I got out at the bottom. I did everything wrong on Albo.
I'm somehow green on this. It's been a long ride, but I'm up a bit.
Everything wrong on Albo.
But yeah, revenues.
It's one that I'm tempted to get back into, but I've been tardy and getting back in, and now it's getting away from me a little bit.
Yeah, I actually haven't charted it in a while. But yeah, so the thesis that I had been kind of holding on to is they're cash rich for a bio. I think they have about half their market cap in cash, which is a good sign. They have revenues ramping up for this pediatric liver treatment that was really well received, and they actually have data coming out in I think a couple months for adult indications where I'm expecting a move upwards of 40 potentially, maybe even if we get lucky near 50 depending on market conditions.
Eventually, this should be taken out.
Yeah, I think when the market has, gotten to a place where it's not looking choppy or even potentially bearish, I think M&A will pick up for bios, and I think this one has been a top M&A candidate for a while.
It is, definitely. The funny thing is nothing really has changed from the time it was 23 to the time it's 33.
Yeah.
And yet, despite essentially no news, it moved up when biotech all collapsed, which is a tremendously bullish sign.
But what else? So what also happened is upon FDA approval of Bylvay, they were at $33, $34, and then they got hammered down to 20. So, I think it's kind of back where it was pre-approval, which is a good sign.
Yeah, and it took out some key highs right here at 31.65.
Yeah.
So technically it looks very strong.
Yeah, it's like got a nice stair-stepping movement up. It's not violently moving, but it's not really giving back its gains. It's like a healthy move up.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's been a prolonged move up since whatever that date this is.
Yeah. So what this chart tells me is either revenues are going to be good or the adult indications are going to be good or both. I don't know.
Since the middle of December, it has had a beautiful climb from $20.30 to $33.
Yeah.
I got tired of holding it somewhere around $25, I think.
So where would you be willing to add?
I don't own any, so I'd be willing to possibly buy on a pullback to what should be support at 31.65.
Okay.
That's I mean, look at the touch here at 31.65 just 3 days ago.
Yeah.
This looks like a very good area of support, possibly a place to add.
Can you go to the weekly real quick?
Or buy.
Curious.
You want me to look at the weekly?
Yeah, just real quick because I'm curious as to. Well, okay.
Beautiful weekly chart.
Yeah.
It took out the same weekly high, $33. No, this is different. $33. The weekly high is $33. Key high was 33. So the support on the weekly, the support comes in at $33.
I'm trying to figure out where resistance is. Maybe 35.
You got what looks like some resistance right here at 37.
Yeah. You might get a little bit before that, but yeah.
I don't see it on the weekly.
Well, there's just a lot of touches of that line, like I guess you're right. Something in the 35 to 38 range. That'll be a little tricky, but.
And the ultimate resistance is up here at $43.
Yeah. So basically that pop to 50 or 48, that was when they released the data on the pediatric indications, the phase 3. So I'm expecting potentially a move like that on the adult indications.
Uh-huh.
So I like it. I like the stock. I'm long. It's good stock.
All right. Let's look at
the chart looks very bullish.
Nice.
Let's look at what again. Let me emphasize the fact that the sector collapsed while this one went up from 20 to 33.
True.
That alone is tremendous.
Yeah.
It went up 45% when everything else went down 45%.
Ooh, so ugly candle here.
Yeah, Paramount. Yeah, this one is one that might present a buying opportunity here because the number of users actually went up, and I believe their projections as to the number of users over the next 2 years is very strong. So if that's the main metric you want to go by, this is a buy. Of course, there's other metrics involved, but to me, the number of users is one of the key metrics. And of course, you have to spend money to get the users. It's kind of like why DraftKings collapsed, because it costs so much money to get those users.
Right.
Nevertheless, once you've got them and you keep them, the content has been really good, I understand, some really good shows. So, Professor Spike, I think this is one that you're not going to get rid of if you do own it.
Yeah.
Is he back?
Oh, I don't know if he's back.
Yeah, he probably is. Yeah.
Where?
No, never mind. No. Okay.
No, he's not back.
So we can go to the daily here. I forgot that we're on the weekly. Just kind of want to look at,
All right, let's go to the day.
because it's kind of a hard chart to read on the weekly. Yeah, okay, this makes more sense.
I know it collapsed basically on the earnings report, right?
Yeah, and it seems to have it stopped right around where it was around December lows, right?
It stopped at the 100.
The
This is
100.
the 100.
Well, no, it's there's another candle. You're not seeing the candle below.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the candle below is.
That's what says it's. That's what
broke the chart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's scary, but when you see that. But again, look at it on Thursday. Was that the day of earnings? I don't know, but it hit $27.84.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen that. I would have been a buyer at $27.
Yeah.
Shame.
You do want to see it attack
I might
that
even
gap.
be a buyer here, even though I hate to catch the falling knife.
Yeah. But you could argue that's strong support. Yeah.
Yeah, where it hit yesterday, it went below the strong support, but bounced right back.
Yeah. So that could be a good sign.
I think this is a good one to nibble on. I think this gap gets closed with once the market straightens out. This gap to 35.99 will get closed.
Will get filled.
So I think this is really a good place to enter Paramount via equity.
Okay.
It's one of the better content providers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up their financials right now just to take a look.
So, ladies and gentlemen, those in the audience, those in the peanut gallery, our opinions are strictly our own and do not constitute investment advice. But, and you should check with an advisor and all of that, do your own due diligence. Nevertheless, I think we're on to something with the first two charts. Albo looking extremely bullish. Paramount looking like a bargain basement stock.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm looking at the FinViz stats on this right now. They have a market cap of under 20 billion, but their sales are 27 billion and they're making 3 billion in income. So that doesn't seem like a very unreasonable PE. And the sales seem to be ramping. They seem to be growing. So
how many users did I have?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm sure it's a small fraction of like what the Netflix has. So if you can cut into the Netflix market a little bit, right?
Yeah, and the stock pays a dividend, 3.25%. It's never a bad thing.
Yeah, it pays a dividend while you wait.
Yeah, so I like it.
I'm a fan.
This is one I would be selling puts on. I personally have a strategy of when things are looking grim, I prefer to scale in.
You sell at 27.50, right?
Exactly.
Or 28.
exactly. You take what you can get.
Yeah,
That's
not a
that's
bad
how I
idea.
would play this
Not a
personally.
bad idea at all. Okay, Shopify and Anavex and
Oh yeah,
Roblox
Shopify.
and Roblox.
Man, this Shopify chart is gonna freak me out, but hopefully we can find some
Oh,
support.
this is an example of a falling knife.
Yep.
Let's
Yeah,
go back to the 3-week again because it's hard to look at this.
yeah.
in the
You
data.
need the weekly here, and even then, it's
The
gonna be a
weekly.
little tough. But
Yeah, very tough. Maybe the monthly. All right, so
oh
wow.
god, I really hope it doesn't go down to that inflection point in 2020. It's possible though. I could
Yeah,
see it.
it could go down to the level. Let me go in red.
Yeah.
But I think we
There's-
have strong support. You're not going to like it, but
Yeah. There's a non-zero chance. I think it goes to that what is that, 580, 570?
599, I guess.
Yeah.
593.
That's just what the chart says. I mean, and then you don't, if that breaks, I mean, run for the hills. Like that really, really needs to hold.
Well, you got the middle of this candle.
I mean, that's another 100. But it's not a joke. That's like
No,
16%.
the ominous thing about this one right now is that it's trading at 666. And you want to know something? That's after being up 6.
It's a demonic stock.
It is, and I'd be a little scared to go into it. Maybe it would have dropped to 599, 600.
Yeah.
I might take a little bit of it, and then if it goes down to 500, add a little bit of it, and if it goes down below that, just give up.
Yeah, it's unbelievable because I mean, this is the market we're in right now. Their earnings per share quarter over quarter went up about 500%, and they're still seeing this. I mean, it's like the market is.
What the heck are the expectations on this?
I mean, I think it was just over. Like my guess is it was pricing in something that was maybe 1,000 or 1,500% because I mean, the forward PE is over 100, which is massive. So that's probably part of it.
And they're not the only game in town. There's a lot more Shopify clones popping up every day.
But I do think that they're a fantastic company. I just think they were overvalued. But I don't know what their fair value is. I guess that's what I need to figure.
What's the market cap on this?
I mean, it shed over $100 billion in just a couple of months.
Yeah. But so right now their market cap is about 80 billion, let's call it, and they're selling about 4 billion. So that's not like crazy unreasonable, but
20 times earnings.
Yeah, it's still kind of high. It's not crazy though.
I don't know. This one scares me. I feel better about the first two we looked at.
I'm not going to enter this now, but I'm going to be watching it like a hawk around 600.
Yeah, you said you're interested in getting in.
Yeah, but I'm in no rush after analyzing this. Yeah.
No, you're in no rush in this market environment. You also.
Yeah.
Let's check Anavex.
Yeah, Shopify. I mean, I thought I liked the company. I guess I'll look at it more.
Here we have the weekly on Anavex. Of course, it's an AD drug that has first approval will be Rett disease which is neurological disease for young women. Very rare, very terrible disease, as you can imagine.
I see very strong support where it stopped because that's the halfway candle and that low.
Yeah.
That's a Dr. J special where it stopped.
Well, halfway around the green candle. Yeah.
And that low that it made, yeah, right there. It's basically the same low.
Yep.
Very nice. Very nice.
it does look like you can enter. Well, if you want to look for a retest, yet another retest of this low, $10.01. Well, what did it do 3 weeks ago? It hit below that. It hit 9.93, about the same. Yeah, so we have basically that $10 area is key level, and the 100 may come into play as well. So considering how red the market has been, it looks like you don't want to enter here until you get a little bit better bargain, at least 100-day.
100 week, yeah.
100 week. Let's try the day chart.
Yeah, but that weekly does tell us a lot. I think the weekly was very useful.
Oh, it's always useful to look at the weekly.
Yeah.
This tells you the same thing, that 993 is there's really nothing other than $10 to hold this thing up at this point.
Okay.
That isn't to say it can't go up tomorrow to new highs, but the chart is saying that, you know, there's basically no reason to buy this one right now based on the chart.
Yep, I would agree. But yeah, I'm gonna be interested in this around 10 potentially.
Yeah,
Honestly, I never thought that AVXL would reach these levels. You know, I thought it's gonna, you know, I thought it's gonna be like in the 30s and 40s and 50s, if not, you know, to 100.
well,
Never
you know,
thought that they're gonna go down.
all the AD stocks took a big hit. So
Yes, massive hit. Yes.
Yeah.
So it went down with the crowd. It may in fact be the best of them. Who knows? We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, their valuation right now is not crazy at all. It's under $1 billion, and I mean, I think the risk reward is probably going to be pretty good around here.
Sure, it's a good long-term hold, but it's also a good trading stock. So
Yeah. But once again, I'm not buying it.
Looky, what's all the way down to $40,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
4% hit today on Bitcoin.
Makes sense. I think this is going to foreshadow the S&P. You just take a zero off. I really think that this is basically going to tell the S&P what to do.
Well, I don't know if it's a leading indicator or a lagging indicator. It's basically risk off, risk on play. Just like, you know, when the market is risk on, this thing goes down. When it's risk off, it goes up, and that's the only correlation that I've seen. The good thing about today's low is it seems to be the middle of this big green candle, which I like.
Yeah, but that's the only thing I like.
The other thing I like is the long-term trend on this Bitcoin is straight up. So you could say that anytime it gets cut in half is a time to buy, or close to cut in half. And it's happening.
I agree with that.
Now, Charlie Munger was on chuckling about Bitcoin, saying that, you know, it should be banned. China has the right idea.
I think we should look at the weekly here too. A lot of these daily charts are just kind of confusing me a little because there's just a lot of chop. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I see your point. I mean, it's making higher lows every time it actually has a dip. So I think that is a good sign generally, but I think you can get it lower here.
You also have a double bottom here at 29,360.
Yeah.
Which we're not far away from.
I think you can get it a bit lower. I'm not a buyer right here.
Well, yeah, you at least 100-day
week, yeah.
100 week, which would be
is low. That's 8K down. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm in no rush to get any of this. I could see it going maybe to 36 or something. I don't know.
Arjun is a bottom fisher.
If it revisits the low, it would be 33,184.
Yeah, it might not get that low, but I think 36 maybe you might get a good deal.
Or for all we know, this could be the low of the year.
Yeah, I doubt that, but it could.
It could. In the middle of that big green candle, retested that big weekly green candle. Why not? Seems like a logical place.
I think if there is any signs of a deal between with Russia, I think the entire market is going to spike, massively.
I agree.
Yeah,
This could happen any hour. I don't want to say any minute, but could happen any time, really soon.
Yeah, I guess it depends how you define massively, but yeah, I'm still a bit wary. I think that would still be a sell the rip event, but I could be wrong. Just my opinion.
I think with Omicron on the way out and Russian troop withdrawal, this market is going to go crazy to the upside.
I agree too.
Yeah, I'm skeptical because of the financial situation of the country. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. There's no point in speculating.
No, I mean, inflation, we have it factored in. 6 rate
Inflation has been factored in big time.
Yeah, it's been factored
Yeah, I just think that the market has to go down more if it wants to rally. I think that at the very least, the S&P needs to retest the 420, 425 level. And then at that point, I'll be neutral. I don't have strong conviction that it'll.
I bought this at 48 and change today, so I'm making money already. So
cool.
You bought this?
Yeah, I took a little shot. I know it's a falling knife, but if it falls more, I'll buy more. I'm going to buy into this falling knife. It's been falling for a long time. At some point, it'll stop falling.
True.
Yeah, but look at the weekly here too. I think this is another one that's like
$60 was key support, I believe. That's what it came public at.
Yeah, and it busted through that really easily. A lot of sellers here.
See where it came public, right at 60.
I
mean, I don't like this chart.
Every time I see a chart like this, like a huge fall down, it feels like a stop loss domino effect. Like people have a lot of stop losses, and it keeps hitting them, and it keeps like drowning.
It's possible, yeah. But
people end up buying the stuff back, their stocks back.
Let me tell you something. This is not a fad, in my opinion. I believe, in fact, it's going to become more and more popular as the kids that are 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds that are playing it now are going to continue playing it when they're teenagers and young adults. This is for real. This is going to define the metaverse at some point.
Yeah, I just don't like the chart. I mean, I'll get in eventually, but I'm not ready to buy yet. I can't buy based on this. But
the key point I'm making is, if it's not a fad, 28 billion is nothing, because if this does what Facebook did, it'll be 280 million, a 10-bagger within like 10 years.
I mean, I hear you, but in a tumultuous market, I don't want to buy growth right now. I want to wait.
Yeah, timing is everything, no doubt.
I just think growth takes it on the chin during these types of situations. It's not going to hold up well. There's potentially more downside. I'm a buyer eventually, but not yet. That's my opinion.
No,
you're cautious, Arjun. I had no idea you're this cautious.
Well, I mean, I've never been through a market like this, so I had I moved to a decent bit of cash, and I've been just kind of scalping week over week. I don't want to take for granted what happened the last 2 years. That's where I've done well, and I'm scared to lose it. That's all.
Let's see if Professor Spike is back. Nope.
And this is a new thing. I used to not be cautious. This is only like maybe a couple months old.
Yeah. PLTR drop makes no sense, says Linus.
I got to pay for my wedding later this year. Can't lose it on Roblox.
Let's take a look at Linus's comment here. PLTR is one of Kathy Wood's favorite plays, an AI company with a little bit of a kooky CEO at the helm.
PLTR, that's the Peter Thiel. It's the Peter Thiel one.
Yeah, little kooky guy.
Kooky guy, but he makes money.
Makes money. Let's take a look at that one.
They do a lot of defense contracting stuff, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of government work.
So you know that their demand will be there. It's just a matter of what they're valued at, you know.
All right, so they slipped substantially. They were a $25 stock not too long ago, and now they're a $10 stock.
All these IPOs that happened during COVID have the exact same chart.
Pretty much.
And so I really need to see, because here too, you might see a little more downside to that inflection point. So another one that I'm in.
Will it trade below its IPO price?
Yeah, I don't know.
$8.94.
I just think my recommendation and opinion would be, you know, there's no rush to get into these ones. You can just wait and see what happens.
This one looks like it's headed for $8.94. It's going to retest those lows.
Yeah.
At that
If I were a
point,
betting man, I would bet on that.
At that point, it's worth nibbling.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
So looking at all these charts heading south and elbow, you know, heading north, it's like a really good exception. You know, it looks so bullish now, elbow.
It does.
It's really interesting. Yeah, I didn't even realize that until we did this exercise. I've just been charting macro recently. Oh, yeah, BCRX is just crazy. It's another
bio that's bucked the trend.
This one is out of control.
Yes.
Just amazing strength. I can't even explain it anymore. I just enjoy it. It's incredible.
You want to do the daily, Doctor? Are you still in the weekly, I guess, right?
Once it took out 1848, it says it has 21 written all over it.
Well, because 21 is a really key level. I was looking at this months in the past. It's a key level that might be tough to break. But yeah, I agree with Kamal. We can look at the daily whenever you want. Because
the other day it almost hit 20. Like it
hit 1 penny shy.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, earnings are coming up. And so either one of two things happens. It just blows through and gets 21 immediately, or this is a huge trap. And I don't feel like betting against it in any meaningful way.
You really think it could be a trap? I don't see it that way.
I don't think it's likely that it's a trap. I'm not betting against this stock anymore because I did make some money buying puts on that huge spike, and I just scalped a little down, but the strength that it showed after that is just astounding. So I'm not shorting this.
I'm selling. I told everyone when it was 11, I'm not selling any shares until 21. And I actually bought a little more at $11, $12 recently.
Yeah. But I do think that if like, I know that they're decently well financed, but if I were management, I would do a raise. I mean, you're going to get 20 a share. That's incredible. I would do the raise, the offering. And if you're a BCRX long, I don't even think that's that bad of a thing because you get factor D funded. You get factor D funded. You get cash runway for years. I don't know if they're going to do an offering, but if I was management, I would for sure do an offering.
I think there was a talk about offering and they retracted that back.
That's correct.
Yeah. But that was when they were like at 14. I mean, if you're at 20, sheesh, that's huge cash difference.
They also have sale signs written all over them. For sale signs.
They could be bought, but now they're kind of expensive. Yeah.
No, because they were never going to sell unless they got $40 to $50.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty expensive, but yeah, I mean, You can't bet against this. I just don't think the risk reward, it's just not there.
Orladeyo is $1 billion drug, so that's phenomenal, and the pipeline is very strong. So
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense for big pharma to buy this one.
yeah.
A lot of sense.
I believe the XBI is going to turn around, sometime soon. It's like really at the bottom, and it will help up the entire pharmaceutical industry, including BCRX.
M&A would go up for sure.
I think so too, Kamal. I think XBI is close to bottom, or has bottom.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying that for so long now, though, that I need to see it. I mean, I call it a bottom, like $10 up from here.
Of course, it can't seem to hold trend line support, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, this one is guilty until proven innocent. I refuse to go long here yet.
Yeah,
I need to see something.
It may revisit the lows. It could. The lows of 83, 89. It could easily revisit on further weakness in the market. It's not going to go contrary to the rest of the market, that's for sure. In general, the IWM might be the best performing index for the year, ultimately. With the NASDAQ losing favor for whatever reason, the swing into bio and small cap may just occur. And if that's the case, the IWM is another way of playing it, as opposed to just buying the XTI.
Sounds like I just have a very fundamentally different view of how this is all going to play out. Like, you guys are more optimistic than I am right now. That's just
because I believe that this is exceptional times. I mean, we are at the brink of a nuclear war. If that's the worst of it, of course. So everybody's just wary and not comfortable. But if that issue is resolved, and I believe it will be resolved, that this should pump the market really hard.
And the chart of the IWM does not look terrible.
Yeah. Well, I think if that happens, they're going to really conveniently do it when SPY double bottoms at 420, and they're going to make an excuse.
The only problem with SPY double bottoming at 420 is that every analyst on CNBC is saying SPY can't go up until it double bottoms at 420. So
it can break.
When you're in the majority thinking like that, it's scary.
No, but I think there's actually even odds that it makes a lower low.
Yeah, but every analyst on CNBC is saying we're not going up until 420, 425, whatever number they pick.
Well, I mean, I think there's good reason to say that's the target right now, down. I mean, I don't think that it's based in...
It doesn't have to hit 420.
It doesn't have to.
The other number is 427. That looks like support.
I think you might see 427 today.
It's not impossible, but then again, you might see 440 at the close today.
I highly doubt that, but
all Putin has to do is say we're pulling out.
Yeah, but
440.
Right, but okay. Now I guess I'm bearish bias. I'll be neutral in the 420 to 427 range. I think that's just the fair way to do it, because I really don't want to be long if that 420 gets taken out, and I think there's a non-zero chance that could happen. So I want to buy into strength rather than catch this falling knife. That's just how I want to play.
Well, below 420, you're probably looking at this 400 area.
Yeah, and then you're looking at 20% correction.
Right about this, filling this gap here at 400.
Yeah.
Yeah. So below 420, you're looking at 400.
Yeah. So That's just how I see it. I mean, I think that we're still in a risky place to go long. I'm just going to wait a little longer. That's all.
So, Dr.
Yeah.
J, I think we're running out of time, and there's a couple of requests. I'm going to play Dr. Spike today.
Okay. So what are the requests?
ARKK
Kathy's RK.
and KPTI.
Let's do RK first. RK has had a staircase down. We're now below the 200 and trying to form a bottom. It's one of those falling knife plays. Let's look at it, where the support may come. Support may come probably right about here. So let me draw that in. It looks like it has more to go, quite possibly, because whenever you have a falling knife, you don't want to say we're there yet. But so let's draw the support right in there, and that would put us at these lows back in June, mid-June, $60 area, 60, 70. We're close to the lows, I believe, on RK, as I believe we're close to the lows in the market. So it's not a terrible idea to nibble at these levels and just add more if it falls to 60. What's the other one?
KPTI.
KPT. Of course, when you have Palantir collapsing and Tesla collapsing, what do you expect? RK is going to collapse right with it. And this is a beautiful candle today on the weekly. Beautiful candle. Caro Farm Therapeutics. I don't know the fundamentals on this one, but I evidently had some good news lately. So most of that green candle, actually the whole week has been super. It's showing signs of pulling back at this point after a sensational run, so I'd be careful to jump in. It had a run from 766 to 1394. It basically doubled.
Yeah, doubled.
Doubled from early February. From 2.8, it doubled. I mean, that's crazy. So you got to figure some kind of pullback here. Usually biotech, once it starts pulling back, it knows how to give up ground quickly. So not knowing the fundamentals, I don't want to be too bearish, but I'm going to draw a line where I think it might come back to. And that line is right in here at 1030. So you got to be careful here. I think it's got the potential to test that 1030 area, or at the very least midway through this green candle at about I guess I would, let's see, open 1030, high 1130, so 1080. 1080 would be the number I'm looking at for an entry point. And if it goes below that, probably add at 1030. That's how I see this one. If I thought the fundamentals were warranted, I want to double check this one on the fundamentals. The chart is one thing, but I also on a pharmaceutical like this want to know what the drug is all about, what the news was all about.
Yeah.
And being that I'm in the blind, I can't make that. I can't give that opinion.
Congrats to anyone who has this, though. I mean,
Right.
can't get in now.
Yeah, you talk about bucking the trend. This is certainly bucking.
This is the best one we've seen. Yeah, it's unreal. Yeah.
Well, it's not unreal. That's typical of bio. That's why we play bio.
Yeah, but I mean, in a weak XBI, it's nice to see some winners. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, that's why we play bio.
Yep. I've only ever really hit big on one though, BCRX.
It is an amazing chart, no question. Shall I look at the weekly on it quickly?
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, so the weekly gives you a different perspective.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
It came down from $63 a share.
This actually makes me want it less.
Maybe we had some reverse splits, along the way.
Yeah. I don't like where it stopped.
So I want you to go over one more stock.
Sure.
NVIDIA.
Yeah, I own NVIDIA, and I'm not happy lately.
Me either.
It's at least it stopped where it's supposed to stop. That's the good news. It stopped right at the 50-week moving average. And it bounced back, and now it looks like it's formed a new bottom right about 230. It's not where we want to see it, but it does look like it's found the bottom, which is good. And semiconductors, once the supply issues are resolved, I think you're going to see this do very, very well. NVIDIA, AMD, all of them. I think they'll all be very good.
I need to figure out where these PE. I mean, all these are just valued so crazily. Like they have 25 billion in sales, market cap 670 billion. I'm like, is that right? Is that what this is supposed to be trading at? I just don't know. I'm asking. I don't know.
You get some crazy valuations with big tech. There's no doubt.
But doesn't that scare you a little?
Well, it didn't scare me on the way up. Now it's scaring me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, I'm like, it's, these weekly candles, it's closing near the bottom of them, and it seems like.
On the other hand, looking at the chart, I feel good about support at the 230 area, 230 level.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, NVIDIA is always at the edge of technology and keeps breaking new edges.
This looks like an excellent area of support. Look at how it's right above the 200. It looks like a good place to add, if anything, or to open a position. I'm not worried about the high valuation.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm just, these are questions that I don't know much about. That's why I'm asking. When I see a 75 PE, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, you got to worry about Intel buying up Tower and trying to compete with the NVIDIAs and the AMDs of the world. But
yeah,
they have a pretty dominant market. The gaming market, the EV market. They look pretty strong. Okay, so that's it for today. We covered a lot of ground. I'm sorry we lost Professor Spike. Good to have Kamal with us. Good to see you, Arjun. Steve is with Professor Spike. He's the one who wanted to know about RK. Okay.
Oh.
All right, so I want to thank everyone for coming. Rick P. He's on the sidelines until Kamala Harris solves another border crisis. Okay. Well, that's hopeful. I think things will resolve.
I like where Rick's head's at. Don't be a hero.
Mark, thank you for the compliment. Great show. Thanks again, guys. All right, so let's just say adios, arrivederci, ciao, and call it a day.
Have a nice weekend, guys.
Don't forget to subscribe, everyone.
Yeah, have a great weekend, and hopefully Putin takes a nap.
All right. David, take care.
All right.